I was working just down the road. I've been volunteering there for about 2 years, and it's a Parkinson's research clinic, and we needed to raise some money, so I was looking around for something to do to get sponsorship, and Mark Beaumont had just set the world record for cycling around the world, so I wondered if I could dig out my old skills and break that record. So that's really where it started.
Gold, 1.8 million. I've fallen over.
The circumnavigation of the world is 18,000 miles by the Guinness, rules, and so I've done that many miles on my one Brooks saddle. I guess I've had that saddle for about 8 years, but who knows how many miles I've done cycling around town. To be honest, for the majority of it I did listen to music. I made this kind of before I left and also on the road, and the lower half of that is connects to a dynamo in my front wheel and provides me with power. I discovered that if I had music of a certain tempo, then I could train for a lot longer, and it sort of separated me a bit from my body doing all the exercise, and then my brain just taking along and enjoying the music, and it does kind of separate you from the pain of doing long distance cycling, well, certainly for me.
Hey, I'm just going to show you what one of these downhills is like. I've done a bit of it, but I think there's still a bit more to go. Here we go. Oh, wobbly. Sorry about the shake.
Out of all the trips I've done, probably cycling over the Himalayas was the most beautiful, and I had time to go off on side roads and stay in villages and go up on tracks and things like that, so we were able to see parts of the Himalayas that you wouldn't necessarily see if you were just driving through, and yeah, it's an amazing place. The most difficult situations in my circumnavigation were probably being ill, crossing India and having to keep up a daily average of about 120 miles or 193 kilometres, and not really being able to eat anything more than breakfast, and trying to get calories just from fizzy drinks that I could just about keep down, and I basically lost 20% of my body weight in about a week doing that, getting across India. Okay, so yesterday evening I had a bit of trouble on the road, and well, to cut a long story short, 5 lads, I guess, in a car were sort of hassling me for about 5 miles, and eventually went ahead of me and then tried to grab me off my bike. Well, I'm told that I narrowly escaped a kidnap attempt in Iran, and I don't know what those 5 men in that car wanted, but they weren't very friendly, and I was saved luckily by some locals in a village. I must admit, I don't really want to stay in Iran longer than I have to now, even though everyone else has been really lovely to me, even, more hospitable than Turkey, and they're all really nice. I just thought I'd show you my little house. So normally the bike is sort of laying down flat there. There's not masses of room in the tent, but I put in all the valuables at the front there. For my first trip I had a trailer, and I took so much stuff that I never used. So that was a good lesson. I now just use 4 panniers on a bike, and I have minimal spares to repair the sort of mechanical side of the bike. Occasionally I carry cooking equipment, but I didn't on the circumnavigation. I didn't think I'd have time for cooking, and I didn't. I carry a roll of gaffer tape just because that's a handy thing to have. Very minimal first aid kit, most of which is the gaffer tape. Water purification tablets, and that's in the front 2 panniers, quite low down. And then in the back I carry a tent, 1-man tent, a sleeping bag, and whatever clothes I need. I'm just looking at my sheet here. This tells me where I'm going to be, or where I'm supposed to be each day. So skipping Pakistan and then flying straight to Amritsar in India. And I've got about 12 days in India. Get all the way across to Calcutta. There's no rest days there, so that's 12 days solid. And then Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore. I choose my routes in quite different ways depending on the country and what I want to get out of it. And obviously for the circumnavigation I was trying to go as quickly as possible, so for a lot of the route I copied what Mark Beaumont had done, because he'd done quite a good job of choosing quite quick roads and avoiding large cities, which obviously take up quite a lot of time to navigate through. And but for trips where I'm not in so much of a hurry and I'm more interested in seeing what's out there, I tend to not plan the route too much and buy maps and not follow an existing route necessarily. So after quite a long time, I think I'm on the right road now. I'm going to not Karabakh, something. If I got in trouble getting through a city, or a more rural part of India, for example, where the signage isn't clear or I can't read it, then I would get local knowledge. You know what it's like if you're trying to explain directions to someone, often it's too complicated, so you'll reach for a pen and paper and draw a map for them. So every time this happened, I kept the map. So I've collected all these maps and starting to write about all the differences between them, and it helps me remember the people that drew them for me. So there are lots of stories behind all these different maps. When I'm cycling for fun, I do occasionally stop for maybe a day or so, but I think the whole appeal to me of cycle touring is that you can keep going and keep changing the place around you without going too quickly. I do like stopping, but not for very long. You might as well be driving. Cycling is the perfect way to keep moving and not run out of land very quickly.